All right, hello guys and welcome to the channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot, and we're going to be checking in with the energies here of the divine counterparts. So I wanted to discuss briefly with what is going on today. Today is a very strange day, energetically speaking. I know we just had the solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius, the last in that Gemini-Sagittarius axis of eclipses. So there's a major closing out of about the past 18 months that's taking place. And there's an energy that feels very off today. And Holly and I are both experiencing this energy. And so I just felt like I needed to come on and do a reading for you guys. I might even do one later because I want everyone to understand that A, you're not alone in feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, and B, this is just a very odd month energetically speaking in the way in which Holly and I are both viewing it. For those of you who don't know, Holly is my business partner. She is a healer as well. And she co-teaches in the coaching group with myself. And so she's a colleague and a very gifted healer, and we're both just leaning in and tuning into these energies for today. And so if things are off today, if things are awry, and even in the weather here, it's been gloomy all day, and then it just started raining. So even the weather, you might notice your pets are kind of acting strangely, or television, or anything to do with electricity or electronics or technology. So just pay attention to these things, guys, and know that we are, definitely affected by the cosmic energies. I don't know if there's some sort of a solar flare that happened in conjunction with the solar eclipse, but what I do know is that the energies are definitely being felt. So I'm actually going to start, it's funny because I pulled out these decks to get messages from the Divine Masculine, but I'm not even really called to do that. So I may actually go grab some other decks here, but I'm going to start with the integration deck. And what I feel with the integration deck here is that we were integrating a lot last month, and this December is a month where we're asked to really rest and lay low and stay still. It's not a month of activation. It's not a month of action. December is a month of protection, of protecting your energies and of preparing, okay? If you guys want more insight and information, you can always follow me over on Patreon. I have written posts. I mainly do written posts over there. I have 3 different tiers you can choose from. I haven't yet had a chance to post for December, but I've been meaning to. The energies have just been that intense that I haven't even been able to put my thoughts together to sit down to write out a well-meaning post. And as you guys know, I'm about quality, not quantity. So my posts, I spend hours writing them and editing them and making sure that I'm delivering the best information possible. So I do want to talk about the solar eclipse. I do want to talk about the energies, and I'm hoping to do that this week over on Patreon. So, all right. So the major energies here: breakthrough and sacred contracts and movement. Wow, interesting. So the first card that came through was breakthrough. Now this is a throat chakra energy. This is a star chakra energy, which sits above the 7th chakra or the crown chakra. This talks about, this is basically the Akashic records, past lifetimes, future lifetimes, and even parallel lifetimes. And then movement, this is the sacral chakra. This is that 2nd chakra. It's the chakra that houses our soul. It's the chakra connected to sensuality. It's a chakra connected to, that divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy, and how we express our love through another with physical touch and intimacy. But the card that I'm really being drawn to is the breakthrough card. There's some sort of an epiphany that's coming through, and this is really good to see today because, like I said, the energies are really awry and they feel almost like foreign. Some of you may even be dissociative, experiencing levels of dissociation or where you just feel detached from the 3D experiences that you're having. Others of you are finding that life is lacking joy right now. So the things that you used to love to eat, you're no longer interested, or they don't bring you joy. The things that you used to enjoy doing, the activities and the hobbies, those are no longer bringing you the joy that they once did. And this can kind of sound the alarm bells and make you feel as though you're doing something wrong or something is wrong. So I'm pointing these things out so you guys know that they're actually very normal in going through this ascension process. So this card in particular, this is a deeper level of that throat chakra. And if you're like me, you've been having some major throat chakra healings, and that can take the form of clearing your throat or coughing, itchy, scratchy throat, your voice breaking when you're speaking, especially when you're speaking the truth. You might be experiencing a variety of those things, or just a sore throat in general. And I'm being told also this might affect your ears. You might be getting ringing in the ears or tinnitus, or some form of ear pain or ear sensitivity, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to sound, sensitivity to noise. These are all things, sensitivity to touch and feeling. And these are all things that you can be experiencing right now on your ascension journey. So the breakthrough card is a breakthrough in communication. It's pretty plain and simple. And the fact that I pulled the sacred contracts card in addition to the movement card tells me something is shifting within the throat chakra and also within that sacral chakra to bring the divine counterparts, or those higher level soulmate connections or kindred spirit connections, which all can operate a lot in the same way, that it's bringing these connections together. This can also talk about your inner feminine and inner masculine, creating that union energy within, which is basically the blood and guts that is required, in order to shift this planet. So it's not the physical union that is necessary, it's the spiritual union. That's why you have to have inner union, union on the spiritual planes, that can then translate into a breakthrough in movement, right? A breakthrough in the process where you have that physical manifestation of the divine counterpart, of the divine masculine within you, of the divine feminine within you showing up on your path. So when your counterpart is absent in the physical, okay, they're not present in the physical realm, they're nowhere to be seen, what's happening ultimately is that you're not in alignment in some way with yourself, with your own inner masculine, your own inner feminine. So you create that separation. It's an illusion of separation that we've created, that we're separate from the world, we're separate from God, we're separate from the earth and humanity and animals and the land. We're separate from truth, that we're separate from love, that we're separate from connection, and on and on and on. And so these illusions are breaking down now, and you watch, because in the coming years, what is going to happen, what is happening, is that you're going to walk around basically with your truth on your body, and you're not going to be able, there will be no more lying or deception, because everybody will be clairvoyant, everyone will be able to see, everyone will have that higher level of intuition, the heightened intuition, and you're not going to be able to get away with deceit or lying or putting on that mask. And so for a lot of people, this is very, very scary. So that's why you're seeing the breakdown of the matrix in happening over a period of time. It's been happening for a lot longer than is visible with the naked eye. And you guys, some of you are tuned into that and know that. So there's definitely either, for some of you, it's a breakthrough in communication with your divine counterpart, which I sense for a small group of people. It's also could be a breakthrough in business, a breakthrough in your spiritual business, or just in your spiritual connection, your spiritual growth. But this is also about epiphanies, and it's about believing it and then seeing it in the physical form. Believe it to see it, not seeing it and then going, oh, I believe it, So we see many, many different ways in which this can play out, because again, this is a collective reading, so one size doesn't necessarily fit all. And it's interesting because with sacred contracts, we all have these contracts that we agreed to play out. We agreed to meet this person or that person in this lifetime and have certain kind of relationships with that person. So now what's happening is some divine masculines have been, or divine feminines, but a lesser percentage of divine feminines have been refusing to acknowledge the call and refusing to acknowledge the divine sacred contract. And how does this look like in the 3D? It looks like karmic partners getting involved with someone else. It looks like denying the truth of the connection, denying the connection itself, denying the love for the counterpart. It looks like making all excuses or all the reasons in the world why it can't work, being unwilling to look at why it can work, being unwilling to go within, being unwilling to do the healing work required to be in the sacred connection, taking the easy route, right? Taking that job or moving physically away from the counterpart, or again, jumping into another relationship, which is just for comfort, which the counterpart deep down knows this is never going to work because I'm in love with somebody else. It can take on many different forms, and it can cause a lot of complications and perceived obstacles in the twin flame connection. Now, this causes the other person, typically the divine feminine, a lot of pain, a lot of grief, and a lot of heartache that she then carries around. And she gets to a point where she translates that into her own healing and realizes that this all happened for my soul growth, even though it was painful. So try not to identify the pain with a counterpart, as hard as that is. They played a part and they played a role that you agreed upon before you came here, just like everybody else has done. Your parents, your ex-boyfriends, your friends, other family members, etc. So when we look at it and go, why didn't it work? Why didn't it work out the way I thought it was going to, or the way I thought it needed to? You kind of have to understand that there was a purpose for all of it, and we don't have to feel victimized by what happened. We don't have to feel stuck. A lot of divine feminines have felt stuck. I can't move on from this person. This is about honoring the sacred contract, but also honoring that you may have other sacred contracts in this lifetime, divine feminine, that wish to be acknowledged, that wish to be participated in, that need to be played out prior to coming into physical union. Some of you will have already worked through those connections. Some of you have been there, done that, and others of you are still going to encounter other soulmates, and you may have relationships with those soulmates while you're working on healing, while you're working on understanding the connection and developing yourself, really. It's interesting because this card can talk about waiting in that energy that we were just talking about with sacred contracts, where something doesn't work out the way you wanted to, or you had to wait longer than you expected to. So what I want to say about that is, don't wait. We were never designed to or expected to wait. We were expected to move forward with our lives. We were expected to create joy and create abundance for ourselves. And we were expected to attract in and allow in love in all forms. Just because you're a divine counterpart doesn't mean that you're cemented or imprisoned in any way to that person or to that connection. Again, there might be other sacred contracts that need to be fulfilled. There is about to be a breakthrough, though, in sacred contracts in general, not just twin souls, but karmics. A lot of people will be leaving karmic situations before the end of this year or early next year, like through summer of next year. Karmic connections breaking apart, and karmic belief systems as well. And this is a much wider scale. This isn't just twin flames. This is the collective energy at large that I'm speaking of here. So the challenge really is to let go, feminine, and feel, to let go and feel the movement. The movement is created within you, and then you see it in the physical realm. So if you want that physical movement with work or with money, with attracting in abundance, with success, with friendships, with joy, with your karma, or excuse me, with your twin soul, whatever it is that you want. If you want breakthroughs with that, you have to first feel it. You have to feel into these energies, like trust that the breakthrough is happening, and honor the sacred contracts however they need to be honored, and honor them in a way in which you do as little harm as possible to all parties involved. So connect with your flow, divine feminine, and connect with your soul. And that's what's going to bring forth and usher forward this movement that you so desire. Any other, movement is, or excuse me, any other like thought form is just going to delay movement. And that's what's happened, is your thoughts can delay the physical movement that you so desire. So, I feel like I've been talking for an hour, and I look at the clock and it's only been 16 minutes. So because I know you guys love these, not because I'm necessarily like, I don't feel like the collective needs these at this time, but because I have them out already, for the sake and purposes of this reading, I am going to go ahead and pull some of these messages cards, but you don't need these, and you don't need to rely on these, divine feminine. Have to tune into your heart. I mean, you look at these cards here, you have all the answers you need. You have movement, you have feeling, you have the breakthrough in whatever it is that you're looking to break through, and you have this connection, the sacred contracts that spans lifetimes upon lifetimes, not limited by the physical realm. Guys, this is one realm, and a realm of many, many realms in this multiverse. We live in a multiverse, multiple opportunities, multiple possibilities. So the divine masculine is trying to be accountable, and he wishes he could express his true feelings. And for those of you new to my channel, I refer to DM as he and DF as she, but obviously those are interchangeable. A female can be a divine masculine and a male can be a divine feminine. I feel like I'm losing you. So I think, and look, interestingly enough, that lined up with the movement card. I didn't do that on purpose, but I feel like the reason that lined up there with the movement card, I feel like I'm losing you, is because the divine masculine wants to come forward and like knows he has to take a step forward, because the feminine is stalling. The feminine is not moving. She is just, the feminine has honestly ceased all communication and contact and gone the other direction. And for many masculines, it's the first time they're experiencing the feminine completely detach, like even energetically just detach. So he wants to initiate some movement because he does feel like he's losing his grip on the divine feminine, and he's losing, even the connection in the 5D seems to be a little muffled at this time, or a little jumbled. So there's this breakthrough that the masculine is talking about. I wish I could express my true feelings. There is going to be a breakthrough in communication. When? I don't know. Timelines are irrelevant, guys. Time is never meant less than it does now. Time is an illusion. It's a great, grand illusion that's a human constructed concept. It's not a divinely constructed concept. There is no time in space. There is no time in other dimensions. We created this because we needed some sort of structure or order. We felt like we needed that. I'm trying to be accountable. He says, it's amazing how these cards beautifully lined up with these cards. And I just did this intuitively. I'm trying to be accountable. So he's saying, I'm trying to honor the sacred contract that we have. I want this breakthrough. I want to come forward. And I understand that you're upset. Like, I understand why you feel like you can't trust me. I understand why you've moved away and gone silent. He's getting a dose of his own medicine. And honestly, it was necessary for this masculine to really, truly honor this connection and to have to dive deeper into figuring out what exactly this connection is and why it's affecting him in such an intense, significant way. So the feminine wants the masculine to know something. She wants him to know that the silence feels like a death to her. She says, I'm grieving. And there is a lot of grief in the feminine collective at this time. part of that grief is also grieving old parts of yourself that have died with these eclipses during eclipse season. Yet I'm also healing, growing, and learning. Okay, so she's like, I'm, in this darkness, in this death process, I am growing and learning and moving forward in many ways, in many areas of my life that, I feel like the feminine wants to say to the masculine, I'm not going to look the same when we meet again. Whereas the masculine was saying that before. Now it's the feminine who's going to say that. Like, you're going to recognize me, of course, because you'll look into my eyes, but I'm going to feel different. My energy is going to resonate differently and vibrate differently. There's going to be a respect for the feminine that the masculine wasn't able to show before. That's going to be a major difference when you do see the counterpart again. This is for those who have been in, some sort of long-term physical separation. And by long-term, I mean a minimum of, 3 to 6 months. I have certain ideas about how our relationship should be. This is the masculine saying, I don't know if I can give you what you want right now. Now notice how he says right now, not forever. I don't know if I can ever give you that. That's when he kind of goes off the deep end and he kind of gets into, he tries to explain it away with logic, and that's when he goes wrong. Are you better off without me? Maybe. So the masculine's having some, thoughts and fears. It's really the fears of, am I losing you forever? So when he feels that, it's almost easier for him to just go into the doubt, because then he's like, well, if I reject this first, then you can't reject me. I can't be rejected and abandoned. Because I'm going to do it to you first, because that's what I've always done. The feminine says, I feel like you weren't willing to make me or us a priority. I won't beg for your love and attention. I deserve the best. And if you're not there yet, feminine, you will get there. You will get to that place where you honor and respect yourself so loudly that you won't allow anyone to tread on that respect. You will set up those boundaries, and you will not tolerate any level or sort of disrespect from anyone, whether it be a cashier, whether it be a family member, divine masculine. He says, I didn't expect to have such strong feelings for you. I didn't know what to do with those feelings, and I acted immaturely. I know this. This causes me much stress. I don't know what to do about it. Well, get your act together, divine masculine, because, it's time for action in 2022. It really is. It's time for action on the part of the divine masculine, and there's really no more time for excuses. The feminine has had it up to here with excuses, and she's also becoming accountable in her own life. She's had it up to here with her own excuses. So I want to add that in, that this is not, yes, there might be tough love elements in my readings, but they're honest and they're raw and they're unfiltered, unadulterated. And when I'm talking to the masculine energy, by the way, I'm talking to your own inner masculine energy. Where is it, feminine, that you have held yourself back, that you haven't been accountable? Where is it that you acted immaturely? And where is it that you feel like you can't be accountable to yourself or to someone else? Okay, where is it that you need to open your heart? Where is it that you need to make changes? Okay. He says, I didn't fully realize what was right in front of me. I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve such love. It's scary for me. So this is about self-worth. And then lastly, he says, the silence is driving me crazy. So he's mirroring what the feminine said here, that it feels like a death to her. I miss you. I'm waiting for the right time to approach you. I'm not sure when that will be. It won't be long now. Please don't be mad at me. Soon. Okay, he doesn't know when. He just knows that it's like an imminent feeling. There's an imminent feeling of movement within these divine connections, guys. I don't know what that's going to look like. It will be different for everyone. This is a collective reading. But what I do know is that we are on this ascension path. There's no getting off. There's no unbecoming a twin soul. Okay, if you are a twin soul, you are here with a significant purpose and mission. You are honorable. It's an honorable path to have, and it's a gift. It's a right. And at the soul level, we all know exactly what we're doing and why we signed up for this. That's why it's important to tune in and go to that soul level when you feel lost or confused or brokenhearted or angry on this journey. You go within and find that truth and the reason why. Remember, go to that place of remembrance, remembering why you're on this journey. I'm sending you guys a lot of love. I'm going to sign off for now. A lot of love post this solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius. and go after what you want. Create movement. This is for all masculine energy, the masculine energy inside of you and the person who identifies as the divine masculine. Go within, create that movement in your life, allow those breakthroughs to come through, blast through the blocks and the barricades. It's exactly what we came here to do. We did not come here to play small. We did not come here to be like everyone else. We came here to create chaos. We came here to wreak havoc. We came here to make changes and help this planet shift. So do that now. Honor the sacred contract that you have with yourself, with God, with the planet, and honor the sacred being that you are. Send you guys lots and lots of divine blessings, and I'll see you soon.